Hi, you're watching West Bloomfield 911. My name is Officer David McNealy, and on behalf of Chief Michael Patton and my Deputy Chief Kurt Lawson and my brothers and sisters in blue, I'd like to welcome you all to the show. This is my partner,
Zena, Dailey.
I'd like to welcome also Michigan State Police Trooper Mark Kellar.
All right. Thank you.
Kellar.
Thank
Trooper, hang with us for a second while I flip the show over to Zena for her daily on the daily.
you. Okay.
Hello, West Bloomfield. Welcome to Daily on the Daily. Let's start with Ask a Cop a Question. Today's question comes from Ava in West Bloomfield. Ava asks, do cops go under the speed limit on purpose at times so they can laugh at people who are too scared to pass them? Pretty good question. It's pretty funny, Ava. I can only answer for myself, I guess. There are times that I drive slightly below the speed limit, but definitely not because I want to mess at or laugh at people. Although I do feel like now I might actually laugh when I pass you guys and you guys start to slow down. Be like Ava, like us on Facebook, West Bloomfield Police Department, throw a question up there for us, and we'll try to answer that for you as well. Moving on today, we're going to talk about student safety and what Michigan has to offer. Most of the year, our kids are in school for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. We teach them everything we possibly can about stranger danger, tricky people, and why we don't want them to be bullies, but rather the nice kid in school who helps others. As they get older, we try to maintain these same principles, and we add even more lessons. We try to teach our kids to be leaders and not followers. We teach them to overcome peer pressure and to not do drugs. We try to teach our kids to appreciate the things they have and not get jealous when others have more or different from what they have. We worry about depression and rack our brains as parents trying to figure out how we're going to make things better. Today I want to inform you about two programs the Department of Attorney General offers in hopes to protect our children across the state. One of which we have talked about before on the show, and that's OK to Say. And the second is the Michigan Cyber Safety Initiative. For kindergarten through first grade, they're shown a presentation regarding 3 keeps. Students are instructed to keep safe by carefully guarding their personal information online, keep away from internet strangers, keep telling parents or a trusted adult about anything that makes them uncomfortable. The kids watch short, kid-friendly videos reinforcing key messages. Students learn how to recognize bullying behaviors and respond accordingly. They also learn the difference between tattling and telling, so they know when it is appropriate to involve an adult. For second and third graders, the topics in the K through first grade presentation are addressed more thoroughly. It continues to encourage students to seek the help of a trusted adult when faced with challenging situations. By doing this, they're using brain pop videos. Students learn to recognize bullying and cyberbullying behavior and to respond accordingly. Moving on to the 4th and 5th grade, it continues to build on the previous grade levels. There is a seminar that illustrates the importance of limiting how much personal information is shared online. Students learn to recognize common techniques used by internet predators and effective responses to bullying and cyberbullying. The students are introduced to the OK to Say student safety program and encouraged to always talk to a trusted adult before contacting OK to Say. For the 6th through 8th grade levels, the students are encouraged to examine their own behaviors and make smart and thoughtful decisions. Students learn the consequences of sexting. They learn steps to take if they witness or are the target of peer abuse. The students also see a video that features Michigan teens that have died by suicide in part because of bullying. The OK to Say program is thoroughly explained, and students know that they can confidently report anything that threatens their safety or the safety of others. Moving on to the 9th through 12th grade levels, the lessons are reinforced for middle school. The students are challenged to take a stand for student safety. They focus on OK to Say. They cover bullying, cyberbullying, suicide talk, self-injury, sexting, threats, date violence, sexual abuse, and the dangers of drugs and alcohol. The students are challenged to pay attention to what is going on around them. If they see anything that doesn't seem right, students are encouraged to step up and speak out. Since September 1st of 2014 through August 31st, 2017, the OK to Say program has had 8,845 tips. You can Google OK to Say if you can't find it on the michigan.gov website. It is very easy to find that way. The website offers lots of resources and information for both students and parents. There is also an app on both iPhones and Androids. And your schools can register for this program online via the michigan.gov website. That is your daily on the daily. Dave?
Z, that's a lot of great information, especially about bullying and also about the patrol cars slowing down.
Right.
Sometimes, guys, although we may have fun with this now, sometimes, guys, we're looking for an address,
Yep.
or we might be looking for somebody that could be lost or something. So there's a reason why we're slowing down. But we may mess with you this time.
Right.
Just kidding.
You might catch us
Trooper
laughing.
Kellar, we're going to take a short station break. Folks, we'll be right back with you in just a minute.
You're watching West Bloomfield 911 on Civic Center TV, a service of the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission. For more information or to watch episodes on demand, visit civiccentertv.com/WB911. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
The West Bloomfield Police Foundation raises money to help those who protect and serve the community. Whether it's emotional or financial support, the foundation provides a helping hand to officers, their families, and those in the community. For more information on the West Bloomfield Police Foundation, contact Kurt Lawson at 248-975-8900 or visit wbpolicefoundation.org.
Hi, welcome back, guys. I'm David McNealy,
I'm Zena Dailey.
and we'd like to welcome back Michigan State Police Trooper Mark Kellar.
All right, thank
Trooper.
you again, sir. Thank you,
Thank
Zena.
you.
All right, just call me Mark.
Well, super.
Be informal here.
Super, Mark. So we're going to jump right in because, my partner Z here had so much great information. Off camera, we spoke a little bit a bit about OK to Say. Is there something special about that with you?
Yeah, the OK to Say program had the opportunity to be with our Attorney General, and we actually launched it in Oakland County over at West Bloomfield High School.
Okay.
Which that was pretty cool, to have him come out and kind of explain the program to people. There's also a time we went down to Cass Tech in Detroit with the Attorney General to kind of launch the program. Since the program's been launched, all I'm hearing are good reports.
That's
there's
amazing.
there's a lot of kids whose lives have been saved because someone sent a message to the OK to Say, and we were able to contact either law enforcement or someone else who was able to get in the middle of the situation and help that kid out.
So, Mark, with OK to Say, it's any type of tip that you might have, right, for a student.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, any tip, any tip.
So it doesn't matter what it is.
Doesn't
Right.
matter what it is, related to school, and even if it's not related to the school, that's okay too.
Right.
Because what we say, if you see something, say something.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's the problem. People see something, but they don't speak about it.
And maybe they feel like that's the safest way. They can remain anonymous. They
Yeah.
can say, this may not be happening at school, but it's still dangerous enough that I should tell somebody about it.
Exactly.
So
So for those that don't know about it, like, do they remain anonymous? How does it work?
I think they do. I think they do, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can. They have it to the point either you can, contact them via the internet, or call, or even just shoot a text.
Right.
Which we're talking at the school the other day with some kids about bullying, and I said, look, if something's going on in the school and you don't feel comfortable to, for them to know who you are,
Right.
just text it or call. If you don't want to call, text.
And thank
But,
God we have
yeah.
those kids that feel comfortable enough to do that, that know,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
it's, there's something going on and I'm going to tell someone. Somehow,
Right.
I'm going to use OK to Say and I'm going to tell someone.
Yeah.
Thank God we have those kids that have the education, that know that's available to them and actually use it.
Yeah,
It's,
that's
you know
true.
what, Mark, too, and Z, it's become part of the culture. Thank goodness now, because in the past, there was a stigma along if a child or a kid spoke up and told you, there was a
Right.
stigma associated with it. But
Yeah.
now that's, especially with OK to Say in different programs, it's become part of the culture of school now. So kids are more comfortable with giving information out because with God forbid, with everything we see now and things that are happening
Right.
in schools,
Right.
Somebody knew about those incidents prior to, right?
Somebody
right.
knew.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Somebody
somebody
knew
knew
about it,
Yep.
So you want to get them to communicate and talk about it, which is, it's going to lead me into my next thing. You have a partner that I went to training with. Z knows too because we had her on the
yeah,
show.
Yeah, Carmen.
Yeah,
yeah.
she's cool.
Carmen Mask,
She's
yeah.
good people.
Yeah, she is.
And we went to a special training together. And why don't you tell the viewers what that is?
Yeah, the training is called TEAM, Teaching, Educating, and Mentoring. That's a program that the state police they've enacted. It's been going on for a while.
It used to be DARE, wasn't it DARE?
It probably evolved
spin-off?
out of it.
Okay.
Yeah, it kind of came out of it. And actually, our director, she had a big hand in it back in the day.
Yeah.
So she's always been connected into community service.
Yeah.
So
I got a big treat because, folks, she actually came and presented our class with our
she
certificate,
did?
so it was kind of a big
Oh,
treat
wow,
because
yeah.
it made me feel kind of, hey, that must be pretty important
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
director of,
Yeah.
the Michigan State Police come down and she actually presented our certificates to her. And it also let me know, guys, that she believed in it,
Yeah,
which
she
was a
does.
big
That's true.
deal. So go on.
Yeah. She definitely believes in the program, and community service is kind of her hub. That's where she kind of started, working in the community. And I do have to take my hat off to her because she was kind of maybe ahead of the curve of what's
Okay.
been happening. So we've been, as a state police, been doing community service type events for a while. So we're kind of, we've been there for a while, so we're still expanding where we are. Like what we do now as community service troopers, there was a time there may have been, I don't know, maybe 15 throughout the state. And I think now each post has, we have about 30 posts now. Each post has at least one or two.
That's great.
So our numbers are doubling.
Yeah.
And we're just getting into the community.
Obviously, that's important to her, and she
yeah.
also sees the value. And I'm sure your post commanders or your administration recognize the value in it because we all know, when you turn on the TV, there's something that may potentially be negative about law enforcement.
Right.
And here it is, with a show like this, and you and I doing the show together.
Right.
It's community outreach.
Right.
So that's primarily what your position is, right? When you're not
Exactly.
out on the road trooping, you're out in a school or something, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's where I invest most of my time.
Okay.
In the schools. The other day, I was telling Z, I'm from Pontiac area, so
Okay.
I invest a lot of time in Pontiac schools. I'm at Elcott Elementary a lot. The other day, I was also over in Novi, over at elementary school. So,
That's
I'm
awesome.
trying to
What
get
are the
around.
grades that you deal with?
I invest a lot of time in the elementary level. So from the kindergartners, which I call my squiggly wigglies, 'cause they're always
They
moving.
totally love you, yeah.
They're always moving. So from the kindergartners up to the 5th or 6th graders in some cases, like in Pontiac, elementary goes up to 6. And then also sometime with the middle schoolers and the high schoolers as well.
When we talked off air, I for a second I thought you'd say, "Oh, I work at the high school," but it actually makes sense starting with the elementary kids, elementary school students, because that's the foundation. That's where they're really starting to learn everything, and it stays with them.
That's right. That's
So,
foundation.
yeah.
And
Not
that's,
that the high schools don't need it, but
Yeah.
that's where you're starting.
Yeah, you're trying to get the base.
Yep.
And that's what I told him the other day. I said,
Yeah.
look, elementary it means the foundation.
Right.
So once you get a good foundation, just like building a house, you got a strong foundation when you build everything on top of it. And that's how our educational system seems to work. So when we come in and do community things, our goal is to give them a good foundation on choices, decisions, so
Right.
that they make the right choices.
So in a perfect world, I mean, let's face it. In a perfect world, we're hoping that your contact is probably the only contact that they're going to have.
Right.
So it's a great place to start.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is. I agree. Because, my goal for them is to say, look, you have life and you have choices. You have to make the decision. I said, either you're going to go left in life or you're going to go right, but it's your choice. We put information in front of you, what to do, what not to do, and then you have to look at it and say, which way I'm going to go. And you choose, because the way you choose makes a difference.
I
Absolutely.
mean, the other thing, too, is we're all in uniform, and Zena, I've talked about this, too. You're in uniform, and sometimes when you see a child, and let's face it, when you see an adult, too, they're kind of standoffish, and they're afraid to talk to you.
Yeah.
So, and this is a perfect opportunity to just, break that wall down and
Make 'em
cultivate
comfortable.
that relationship earlier on in their lives.
It is.
And so they're like, hey, I remember, Trooper Kellar or, Officer Dailey or Officer McNealy, and it'll keep a good place in their minds and hearts. Let's hope, when we need them to communicate
Right.
about
Right.
okay to say and stuff like
Absolutely,
that.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And that's the goal. Because when I first go into school, I'll go in, first time I'm walking into school, and the first response is kids are like, uh-oh, somebody's in trouble.
And you know what,
What
you
you're
guys
here
got those
for.
smoky,
Yeah.
you guys got those Smokey the Bear hats, which
Yeah,
we
we
wear
do.
on our
Yeah.
honor guard uniforms, and they're sharp, but boy, I tell you,
Yeah.
they can look intimidating
Right.
even to a law enforcement officer.
Right.
You guys are troopers,
Yeah, it's a different look, So, and then my goal is to get past that point and to kind of create a relationship with them. So I might start off where they're all kind of standoffish.
Right.
Like Alcott, it's one of my pet schools. I love that school. I love the kids in the school. And it started off with, who is this guy? I don't want him here. Why is he here? To later on, they're giving me hugs and thank you and, keeping me updated on where they're going. I got a couple of students, man, I tell you, I'm so proud of these kids. These kids are out of the Pontiac school system, right? They have learned Japanese fluently.
Wow.
And all these kids, there's like 10 of them, it's a group of them. These are 7th graders now because I had them when they were in the 6th.
Okay.
And not now, they're 8th graders. But they're all going to Japan
Fantastic.
for 10 days.
Wow,
Fantastic.
that is amazing.
So
Fantastic.
that is amazing.
It's like, go see why you're
So-
proud.
Oh, man,
Yeah.
these kids are awesome. Yeah,
Fantastic.
they're
So
awesome.
you and obviously they keep a hold of you and keep touch with you. So that must mean not only if the kids are loving you, then the administrators and the teachers and the faculty, the principals all have to appreciate what you're doing. Let's talk about them for a minute because they have to be able to receive you as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Right? I mean, can we talk about them for a minute? They have to, like when you first started introducing team, did you feel like it was welcomed at all our steps, or were they nervous the same way? How did they receive it?
Yeah, some of them were curious because, typically when you see law enforcement, it's like you're there because something's wrong.
Right.
Right? So when I talked to them about team, and team has been structured to a point where our educational model kind of matches what the schools are trying to do. So once they saw what it does and we explained it and they saw it, they said, oh, wow, this actually will work with what we want to accomplish as well.
So teams is specifically for schools.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, for the from K all the way up to 12.
Okay.
You can. The thing I liked about the team training is that they give you everything you need.
Yeah,
MSP, I got to tell you, you guys, when I left team and training in Lansing, I thought I was going to need a pickup truck
Yeah, we
because
saw
you
that.
guys gave us so much
Info.
Lot of
information and brochures and pamphlets and things like that.
Yeah.
But what I did like about it is the fact that you gave us choices and you can adjust the curriculum to
Yes.
your students or
Yeah.
to the grade level.
Right.
Right. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
How long has that program been in effect?
Team has been around for many years.
Okay.
Even, I've been doing this for 4 years, but
Okay.
team was probably even 10 years prior to me even getting
Okay.
part of it. But it's been evolving. They've been
Yeah,
adjusting it over
adjusting it.
time because some things have changed.
So folks, Z, I got to tell you, here's this sharp, impressive looking Michigan State Police trooper, and I don't know how you went from a United States Marine to, probably one of the nicest, friendliest troopers I've ever seen. But okay, so you were a Marine,
Yeah.
and that's it's pretty cut and dry and pretty out there, like boom,
Yeah. It's
Now
good.
you're teaching team. How did
Yeah.
you adjust?
I think for me, it kind of fit for me, who I am. I'm the guy, I like discipline, I like order, and I like to get things done, but then also have that heart to want to help. And that's probably what drew all of us, maybe in law
Sure.
enforcement, some kind of way.
Absolutely.
So it fits. There's like a switch. When it's time to go to work, boom, we go to work
Yeah.
and we're serious. But then when it's time to have fun, hey, let's have fun.
Sure. Right.
And that's kind of a mix I get to have with the kids in school, with team and the teaching and everything, and being a Marine, similar stories. A lot of things I found out from the Michigan State Police were similar to the Marine Corps because the state police got a lot of their training way back in the 70s from the Marines.
Okay.
So when I entered this organization, I was like, oh, that's familiar to
Prepared.
me.
Yeah,
You
you're
know, I-
prepared.
Stuff,
Yeah.
I could tell you were definitely in military of some sort, and I found out you were a Marine. I said, okay, that's probably
Makes
why I like
sense.
this guy because my
Yeah.
my
your
father
dad?
was a Marine.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
yeah,
my
your dad
father
was
was
a
a Marine. So I
Marine,
said,
all right.
this guy's definitely a Marine, 100%.
Yeah, so you had the training in the house.
Oh
probably.
yeah, I got the training in the house. Believe you me, I sure did.
That's
So,
good. That's good.
but you know what? So you've traveled, and I think that's probably the best thing about being a trooper is that you get different. Tell the viewers that, some of the cool things that you've done as a trooper.
Oh wow! Like being able to go to different places. Like our jurisdiction covers the whole state. Like when I tell the
Right.
kids, we look like this, right? This is Michigan. Okay, we're right here. But we get to go pretty much anywhere within the state. Now, typically they'll assign us to a geographical location. Like my post is in Oak Park, and we're the Metro North post. There's also a Metro South post. Metro North covers Macomb and Oakland,
Okay.
and Metro South and Taylor covers all Wayne County. Okay, but I've had the opportunity to work in Ohio doing different things.
Was that a task force?
It was just different operation because I started working in Erie, Michigan. If you guys
Okay.
know where Erie is, that's at the border of
I
75.
have no clue.
Yeah, we have no
clue.
idea.
Yeah, most
No
people
clue.
are like Erie.
Clueless.
When they told me a recruit school, they were going to send me to Erie. I was like, Erie?
Michigan?
I was like,
Right.
I
Is
don't
that
even
in
think I
Michigan?
want to go there. So they sent me, it's kind of the border, 75 just before you get to Ohio.
Okay.
Okay.
That's like Erie area. So I worked there a little bit in Ohio. Also had the opportunity to go to New Mexico to do some things. And actually, like right now, we have some troopers who are in Puerto Rico.
Wow.
We're helping with the recovery effort down there.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so they sent us, to different places. Ohio, when we were having the elections and the campaigning was happening in Ohio, they asked us to come to help them keep order, which was great. But it's kind of great what we do. We don't just sometimes work Michigan, but we work other places as well.
I never would have thought of that, honestly.
Yeah.
I assume you're local to just Michigan, though,
Yeah,
but.
local here, and then, within Michigan itself, about 2 weeks ago, I was in Traverse City working.
Okay.
That's rough duty.
Yeah, people are like, that's pretty
rough.
hard, isn't it?
That's
Oh,
Traverse
man.
City. That's
It was
I
so
tell you,
tough.
You
The
get
sun was
you get extra
shining.
pay for that.
Right.
Well, I tell you, the weather was beautiful.
Oh, I believe it.
was
I
like,
love
man, this
Traverse
is-
City.
yeah, this
Just
is
before it hit
great.
the cold, that's
Right,
why.
just before the cold.
Watch the
yeah.
colors
right.
change and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But you spent some time in gaming also.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Gaming is our casino division here, which covers all 3 casinos in Detroit. I was in the enforcement side. So when there were crimes that happened with the patrons, like stealing or whatever the case might be, we'd investigate that.
I think they got the right job for that.
Yeah.
That's the right job for you.
Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. For that. And then also for the employees, because they got to points, especially, you're talking about the cages, they got to points where they were stealing.
Okay.
I mean, there's times that we walk in the cage and they have a stack of $15 million sitting in the cage.
Yikes.
That they're about to distribute to all the cages.
Right.
And we had employees that were actually, choosing to do things that were wrong.
Wow.
And they eventually got caught because there's cameras everywhere.
Right.
So it's kind of strange how they do it.
I would think that they know they're everywhere,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you've got some other specialties too. You're an instructor for defensive tactics. You're a recruiter. You're a background investigator. You do a lot of different things. One particular thing that I wanted to touch on is that you are a liaison for Wayne County, Oakland County, and Macomb County to the prosecutor's office.
So basically how that worked, our troopers, whenever they made a stop or an arrest, they put their cases together, and then they would forward the cases to me. I would take all those cases to the prosecutor's offices, and we talk about the merits of the case. Okay. If they saw enough evidence to issue a warrant or whatever have you.
Right.
So that was between Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County.
I'd imagine you were very busy then.
Oh my goodness, yeah, very busy. Literally had a stack.
I believe it.
That high.
Yeah.
No exaggeration. And then the second stack was this high. So it was just constant, activity.
How long did you do that for?
I did that for probably from 2006 to maybe 2011, 12.
Okay.
So it was a long time.
Okay.
And then I was the court officer for all of Wayne County for the state police.
Oh boy, I know you were. Now I know you were busy.
Oh my goodness, that was a challenge. That was a challenge.
Mark, I wanted to switch gears for a second. You do that, and you do recruiting. But one thing I want to talk about too is I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this up. When you're on the freeway and you're as a motorist, if you break down or just run out of gas, I always see these I think they're called courtesy vans.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I think there's cameras on the freeway also where they constantly monitor it, and so the courtesy van goes out looking for people in distress, right? Besides you guys being out there or us being out there, whatever law enforcement jurisdiction out there.
That's true.
What do they? I mean, what do they do? I mean, they're out there.
Yeah, the Courtesy Patrol, actually, it's a great program because I can remember when I first started working, like I'm talking 96 in the Detroit area, we didn't really have that program up to where it is today. So many times we would have to be sent to handle a situation. Maybe someone ran out of gas.
Right.
So we would go deal with it. Now that we have Courtesy Patrol, sometimes they can get a person a gallon of gas to get them started or either get them pushed off the freeway.
What if somebody's broke? Will they just give them the gas?
They'll give them like a gallon, but no cash exchanges.
I've seen them out there. I did not realize that was part of state police.
It's not the state police, but
MDOT?
MDOT. Yeah,
MDOT?
because we work with MDOT.
Okay, so you work together. Yep,
Right.
I got you.
We work
Okay.
with MDOT and the Courtesy Patrol. I mean, they do great things, fixing flats, changing tires, and we still do that. But then there's times where we can't get a lug nut broken, so they pull out the machine to get it taken care of. So that helps us so we can focus on the more serious matters. They can kind of take care of things that wouldn't require us to be there.
I've seen them out there too. I've seen them out there too, where sometimes there's some debris in the roadway, or they're trying to get our attention somehow too. So they're out there too for that.
So do people call the police department? Do they call one of your stations and they get sent out?
Yeah, they'll still dial 911. like
And-
normal. Then
okay.
our dispatch center is in Detroit. I mean, if you guys ever get a chance to go see it, if you want to, you should come check it out because they
Okay.
have all kind of stuff set up in there. It looks like, like they're launching a space show or something in there. So many cameras
Yeah.
and screens. But inside our dispatch center, you have MDOT that are in there.
Okay.
You have Courteous Patrol, their dispatch. Then you have our dispatchers, and you have some other people in there too.
Wow.
Like WJR Radio might be inside sometime. They're in our dispatch
Sometimes
center.
then they're just giving
would've never guessed
traffic
that.
And they're-
alerts.
Yeah, and they're picking up the information,
Yeah.
straight hand.
Yeah,
first
because
hand.
I know that I think I read that they're out there not only looking for motorists in distress, but also there's someone manning cameras at different hours of the day. I think 24 hours a day, I should say,
Yeah.
to look for motorists in distress. So I just wanted to make sure our viewers knew that if they could dial 911 or
Exactly,
if they come across Courtesy Patrol, and it's free.
It's free.
It's
yeah.
free.
It's already,
Yeah,
it's already,
it
It
already
doesn't
paid
cost
for.
any money.
Doesn't cost you any money. If you need help, just call.
I know they'll even call a tow truck for you.
Yeah.
Now, they're not going to pay for the tow truck.
Right,
folks.
right.
That's
But they will
different.
call
yeah.
a tow truck for you, and they're not going to put a strap on the back of their
Yeah.
bumper and pull you off the roadway. They can't do
Right.
that. We might have to call a troop over to push you out of the roadway, but they will definitely call a tow truck for you.
Yeah.
But let's switch gears again back to recruiting. I know you guys are we just went through a huge retirement. A lot of
Right.
our senior guys have left the force and on the
Last several
greener,
years, yeah.
greener pastures to
Yeah.
that happiness called retirement. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys have gone through that too.
Yeah, and we're going through it. Probably within the next 3 to 5 years, we're going to be having a lot of people leaving, and we're talking from command staff on down, because we're just the way we hire is we hire in bunches,
Right.
and then we retire
Retire.
in bunches. Same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do have a lot of people that will be leaving right now. We're recruiting for a recruit school coming up in January. January school will have about 160 people we're looking for.
Wow.
There's a current school right now that started with 159, and they're still going. There's a few people that quite didn't
Didn't
make
yeah.
it through for whatever reason.
Okay.
But there's also a school scheduled for June of next year.
Okay.
So we're looking, to fill these positions.
So what do they do? Go to the msp.gov to start the recruiting process?
They can go to msp.gov and look /MSP jobs. They can go there, or they can shoot me an email. My email is Kellar, KELLARM, @michigan.gov. Send me an email. I'll forward them a packet of information. They can look at it. Questions from me, I'll be happy to answer for them. But I tell you this, one of the greatest careers in the country, I believe. Starting off, the pay, they start them off at about $45,000, and they're paid while they're at the academy.
That's great.
Yeah, so it's a pretty good
So you
start.
get
How long
paid
is
to
your
train?
academy?
Our academy now seems like it keeps getting longer. When I went through, it was about 18 to 22. Now it's 26 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, 26 weeks long. Yeah.
So listen, we're getting ready to wrap up the show here, but tell the viewers something they didn't know about MSP. I think you guys are celebrating 100 years. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, we're celebrating 100 years. Our agency started like April 19th, 1917.
Wow.
Yeah, initially started as pretty much like a homeland kind of security for the war effort. World War I was happening, so they were pulling a lot of metal from the UP. They had a fear that the Russian or the enemy would come in and maybe stop that effort, so we can get the metal. So we kind of started there as a mounted cavalry unit,
Wow.
about 300 troops.
Wow,
That's our
some,
name
that's some
stuff.
great information. Trooper
Yeah.
Kellar,
History.
All
Mark,
right.
thank you for coming
David.
on.
Appreciate
Thank you so
Zena,
much.
thank you. Appreciate
Folks,
it.
that's going to do it for us to ending another exciting episode, and we thank Trooper Kellar for coming on. Guys, you can keep up with us with the police department by liking us on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram, and you can also sign up for Nixle.com, crimemapping.com for the most up-to-date information for the police department. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.